Hi, welcome to this edition of Get Real with Rick Dancer, and we have got a show for you tonight. So tonight we're going to talk to a young man named Zach Childers. Am I saying it right, Zach? Nod your head. Is that right, Childers? Okay, because you could go Childers, you could go Childers, you could go either way, and I wasn't positive on that. This guy has done some amazing things in his life. I first met him when he was selling knives out in front of the old Full City on 13th and Pearl. And he wanted to meet with me and sell me a set of knives. And I've kept in touch with him, kind of understanding his life. And now the guy is doing bodybuilding, and he's about to become a father. And it's just a really cool story of endurance, really. I know you don't think of athletes who are bodybuilders as being endurance, but Zach's life is about endurance. Our sponsors tonight, Chris Dental Family Dentistry in Eugene, where everyone is welcome. They also have a denture center there now. So if you're in the market for a dentist and you like a dentist who loves freedom of speech, loves for you to be able to hear conversations like this one, please give Dr. Bratlin and his staff a little bit of love from us. New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center, Matt McCarl, an amazing man who's not afraid to bring new technology to Eugene, like hyperbaric chambers, like light therapy. And tonight we're going to hear a little bit from him about light therapy. And also Alvord Taylor, Endless Possibilities, making lives possible, not the lives, but enriched lives possible for people with different abilities in our community. And they're always looking for employees, people to work for them. And we would love for you to go do that job. So let's bring our guest on here, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well. Yourself?
Hey, Zach, I am so good because I get to talk to somebody like you, and I love having conversations with you.
Well, I appreciate that, Rick. Thanks for having me on.
So, Zach, you have done some really amazing stuff in your life. I mean, do you remember that time that you had me come meet you and you were going to sell me some knives?
God, I was a shrimp back then, man, over 10 years ago.
Yeah, you were so you're almost what, 30, what?
I'm 32. I will be 33 in 3 months.
So, you were 23 years old. You were just a kid trying to figure out your life.
Yeah.
And you obviously have done that.
Yes.
You are now married.
Yeah.
You have a baby on the way. How exciting is that, Zach?
Yes, I mean, I can't, man, it's been a trip. We miscarried with our daughter last year, Lillian, and, that devastated the both of us. I was depressed for 10 weeks, but enough of that. Real blessed with this kid, it takes a village to raise a kid. And, we feel really blessed financially for this opportunity.
I remember the last time I talked to you at the gym that it was you were just coming back to the gym because you had been, struggling with depression. And you at that point, you weren't sure you guys were going to try to have another kid. You were kind of like, I don't know if we can go through this again.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we took the plants and, everything happens for a reason, I mean, that last year wasn't good financially, we weren't in a spot for that. This year, I feel like we're in a spot. I mean, Hannah, my wife, works at the daycare in Springfield, Oregon, ABC Learning Center. We get free daycare for our son, and I'm a courtesy clerk at Alpersons on 18th in Eugene. So we're in a nice spot.
So I've seen pictures posted on your page. Who's the baby sit in that you're kind of there's been some pictures of you with the baby, like you're trying to learn how to put on a diaper or something. Is that what I'm seeing? Is that what I'm seeing?
Well, Anna brought a little doll for me to practice on.
Oh, that's what that is. So you've been
Yeah,
trying.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how, I never got a doll to practice on. I had to go right to the main thing. And I'll tell you what, let me give you one warning. You know that little penis there? They
Yes.
they squirt on you. So keep your hand over it when you're changing and you pull those pants off, and then it's because they'll pee right on your face.
God.
That's my tip. So what's his name? What are you naming him?
His name is gonna be Benjamin Walbert. Walbert was my dad's name.
Okay, and then Benjamin's just a name you two picked out.
Well, Anna picked it out, and I didn't like it at first, but then I mulled it over, and I like it. It's a nice, strong name, I feel.
Oh, Benjamin's a great name. Yeah. So you deal with is it cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy? What do you say?
Uh, I say cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
And how does that affect you?
So it affects your cerebellum and cerebellum. I was really curious about that in health class in the seventh grade, so my teacher taught me about that. So it affects your cerebellum and your cerebellum. It affects your balance, your speech, and coordination. So there's different kinds of cerebral palsy. I actually work with a couple of co-workers with cerebral palsy. A cashier with CP is side one of his leg is complete one of his leg is limp, so he walks with a limp, and you wouldn't even know my other coworker has cerebral palsy. She shakes a little bit, and she said she has cerebral palsy, so I thought that was interesting.
And you were not supposed to be like a bodybuilder. I mean, it's not normal for someone with cerebral palsy to start bodybuilding.
No, I mean, I wasn't even supposed to walk when I was born. But I divide the hearts. My mom actually told me a story once. I would never forget this. She said if I could walk from the tail to the bed, she would get me Taco Bell or Burger King. And guess what? I walked.
You can be bought with food.
And then when I was about 6 or something, my my mother adopted me when I was my mother adopted me when I was 3 years old, right? She
Okay.
had spinal bifida. She had cancer. She wanted to adopt me. That's how good of a woman she was. Her name was Carol Childers.
And so your biological parents gave you up for adoption?
Yes, at 1 year old, I believe.
And so your mother, your not your biological mother, but your adoptive mother, she had spinal bifida,
Yes,
and she still adopted you.
yes. Yeah, from Portland, Oregon. And actually, I think she adopted me at 6, and I was in a wheelchair a year later. I think at 8 or something. I don't know. It was so long ago. She actually dumped me out of my wheelchair and told me, Zach, you will walk.
Really?
Yes.
So you were going to be confined to a wheelchair, And
Yes.
this woman who is kind enough to adopt you, well, obviously you're a great kid, so
Yeah.
I mean, and then she just said, "Get up."
Yes.
So was she married? Is that the man you feel like is your father, or did you know your?
She, she wasn't married. Funny that you would bring up my father. My dad. The reason why I'm so excited about our son being born is my father walked out on me when I reconnected with my mom when I was 19, and I kept asking my mom about my father, and she's like, well, he's not in the picture anymore. Why? Well, he walked out on us to be with his other family when I was a baby.
His other family?
Yes.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So your biological father, biological mom. Mom gives you up for adoption, but dad had already walked out on you guys, and
Yes.
he had another family.
Yes.
So they were never married then.
Uh,
That
I'm
you know.
pretty sure. I'm not positive.
So you reconnect with your biological mom at 19.
Yeah.
Now, and is she still alive?
Yes.
Do
She
you have
lives she lives in Mayflower, Arkansas, I'm guessing.
do you
She
have a
lives somewhere in Arkansas.
do you have a relationship with her?
Yes. We talk on the phone almost every weekend.
Okay. Do you have any kind of relationship with your biological father?
No. Last time she talked to me about that, my dad, she's pretty sure he passed away.
Okay, so hold that thought. I'm going to run a commercial. This is
Okay.
super interesting. Hang on.
Okay.
Did you know that light therapy can alleviate your pain? There's been over 60 years of study into light therapy. Blue light really works well with the skin. Red light penetrates down into the muscles to really help with muscle recovery from workouts. Infrared can go bone deep through the skull into the brain and can help promote blood flow, which can help with better mental clarity. Some new light pads, they're called the Deep Light Therapy Pad. They're infrared only. They're really good for targeting areas of the body to really get deep penetration into large muscles, down to the bones, work with muscle soreness and joint pain alleviation.
What do you think that the community needs to understand more, or maybe more clearly, about what it is that Albert Taylor and your staff do for the community?
I think the community needs more education around developmental disabilities and IDD. I think that is the biggest barrier between the community and any agency in Lane County. They don't really understand what these people we support deal with on a daily basis. And I feel like if they were educated more on the things that they deal with and the issues that they have, then they would understand more what we do, and it would bring the community together better.
Because what they don't want, your clients, is to be felt sorry for.
Exactly.
What do they want? What do your
To be
clients want?
accepted. They want to be accepted just like you and me.
So, Zach, do you want to be accepted?
Yes. I mean, well, we're all humans, Rick. Let's get that straight. I mean,
What?
we're all humans. I mean,
Right.
I don't give a rat's ass about disability, you know? I mean, everyone's disabled. Anyone.
We all are, aren't we?
Yes.
Yours just shows up differently.
Yes.
Do you get tired of people thinking that you're intellectually disabled when that's not the case?
Oh, oh, oh,
or go ahead, you talk.
oh God. Yeah. If I have a dime for and every, every tongue twister, every time someone thought I was intellectually disabled, I'd be a millionaire. I mean, never judge a book by its cover. And, Hannah thought of that. And, I can't thank her enough for that.
So, in terms of your dad, so you didn't grow up with a dad in your life at all then?
No, that's why I'm so damn excited to meet Benjamin, because I'm gonna do what my dad couldn't. I'm gonna be there for him.
Well, how does that look, Zach? What is being there for him? What are you gonna, when that kid comes out of there, you're gonna cry.
Oh God, yes. Yes, I will cry because he's a gift. He's a rainbow baby. There's no happier feeling than being a first-time parent. And, it is gonna be tough because we are still learning. But you know what? That kid is gonna be loved so damn much, and he's not even born yet.
What are you gonna tell him about you?
That's a loaded question. What do you mean?
What are you gonna tell him about your life and who you are?
Well, the best way I'm gonna describe it is, your dad was, I'm just gonna tell him the flat out truth that you should never judge a book by its cover, Rick. You should be more accepting of people, I mean, yeah.
And do you think, what do you hope for him?
I want him to have a better life than I did. I think we all want that for our kids, don't you?
Yeah. But what are you going to tell him about your bodybuilding? How do you feel about your bodybuilding now? Because you've done your competitions, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for that, and you're proud of you for that. But you said something kind of cool when you wrote me. I don't know when we were talking, but you said, I think it was when we were talking about how we were going to schedule this. And you said, I have to make less time for bodybuilding and more time for my wife and my son.
Yes, definitely. It was actually a Facebook post I did. Be a good father and a better husband or something like that. And that is 100% the truth, Rick. I'm not gonna step on stage for 5 or 10 years because I want to be there for Ben every moment of his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're going to be the dad that you didn't have.
Yes.
What do you believe, Zach, about life?
I believe that anything's possible, Rick. If you want to do something, just fucking do it. I have cerebral palsy. The doctor said I couldn't walk. I did. I was told I would never I would never get to Ireland. I did. I sold the most kill bomb books out of everyone in that class. They told me I couldn't wrestle. I did. They told uh Yes. Uh, it's funny. One of my classmates told me, if you didn't have a disability, you would have one state. You know
What?
what? That
What?
could be true, but
What they
yeah,
say? What they say?
if you didn't have this disability, you could have one state in wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, and I laughed back at that moment because he could have been right, but he could have been wrong.
But Zach, do you think of all the people you encourage just by living your life? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Because you have a lot more difficult things to go through. I mean, we all have difficult things, and I think for each one of us, what I deal with, that my struggles and my disabilities are super hard for me, and that's why I have them. Don't you kind of think that about life? Is you get this thing. So here's this. We're all writing a story about our life, right? So you can either let people tell you what your story is, like the doctors, like the people who told you you couldn't bodybuild, that the people that told you you couldn't wrestle, the people that said you'd never walk. And then you get these little moments in your life where you have some jewel come in, like your mother, and she
yeah,
comes in and says, that's not the story that my Zach's going to write.
yeah.
And she
I
dumps.
mean, I'm not done writing this story, and there's this offspring sound that gets me motivated every time that I hear it. One of the voices is like, I'm not done yet. And that is true. I am not done yet.
So, what do you want the next chapter of your story to look like? If we were going to dream, what would be? You're going to have the baby's obviously Ben is this new chapter. So, what is that going to look like? I mean, besides you being a big goofball, and you'll be like a big mush. This kid's going to have you and your wife wrapped around your little finger. But I have a feeling you understand what it means to raise a kid, because you, one, didn't have a dad, but you
I
had very
lived, I lived it, Rick. I lived it.
right. And you have to sometimes, does it just kind of, with your mom, here she is, she's got spinal bifida.
Yeah,
She takes a risk and she adopts you, and then she changes your world.
yeah,
Wow. That's the kind of dad you want to be, huh?
yes. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait.
So, what in terms of your bodybuilding, how hard was that to go out on stage? And I'm just asking. I don't know because I'm not you.
Oh, it was freaking difficult, Rick. Oh my God. I was 190 pounds at one point. Okay? It took 6 months. I lost 60 pounds. Okay? That's 10 pounds a month. The lowest I've been was 142. It was really freaking difficult. Yeah, that's me at 145 pounds.
So how did you get that stomach like that? Good. That doesn't even look human. It looks like
That's
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. Well, it's genetics. It's all it is. I didn't really work for that stomach. I don't. I think I didn't really do much hard work. It was all in the kitchen. I you just have to eat right and exercise.
So you eat like you're very, when you're doing that last couple months, you are so careful. You're not eating much, are you?
Yes, I eat like 5 to 6 meals, and they're tiny meals.
So is that the hardest part of doing it?
Uh Yeah, eating is pretty tough. I mean, no, actually, I take that back. Eating's not that difficult. It's more mental than anything. When you have to go to that place, that you want to be shredded. It's not for everyone. So don't you dare think you can do this, okay? If you want to do this, perfect. More power to you. But don't you think it's gonna be easy, because it's really not. That's getting in shape for a show was probably the most difficult thing I ever did. And I got in shape for a show like 4 times.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
So when you having cerebral palsy, it makes it difficult for you to walk. I mean, you walk fine, but you
yeah.
have to concentrate, and you can't walk out there like everybody else does. How does somebody? How do you deal with that when you're walking out there on that stage as somebody with cerebral palsy? I mean, do you just own it, or do you go? You're so used to people looking at you anyway. You just go, you know what? This is Zach. This is who I am. And my stomach, I'll put my stomach and my arms and everything else up against any of you. I may not have the feet that can dance like you do, but I can get my ass out here and do this.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you really have to own that stage. My first bodybuilding competition, I was in Washington. I went up against a person that was 6 foot. I beat him by 1 point.
Wow.
That was my only bodybuilding victory. And yeah, I mean, and yeah, I didn't really care about, well, I did care about winning the other ones, but not that much. I mean, the victory itself is you're competing up on that stage. That's the real victory.
And what did you call yourself? Because I saw your name, and I want you to tell people. I thought it was you kind of played off of your
My
disability.
my where we were driving back from Washington, and there's this court, right? And she was trying to figure out a name for me, an Instagram name. And she's like, well, why don't you call yourself the Cerebral Palsy Beast? And I really liked it. So
So
that's my, what?
that's your Instagram page,
Yes.
the
Cerebral
Cerebral
Palsy.
Palsy Beast.
Yeah.
Zach, I love that, and I love you. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when you guys once you get the baby and you get a few months under your belt, let's have you on the show with your kid and
Okay.
your wife, and you guys can kind of talk about what you're learning and what you're seeing and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
I am super excited for you. You're going to be an awesome dad.
Thank you. I appreciate it more than you know, Rick. Truly.
All right. I will talk to you later. Okay, Zach?
Okay. Bye
Thanks for
now.
being here. All right. See you later. Again, those are the miracles in life. What a great mom. She wasn't going to listen to the doctor, and she dumps him out of his wheelchair and says, "You're going to walk." And he walked. And he will be a different man than his father. He definitely will be a different man than his father. Already is. So those are the stories that make life worth it, don't you think? I love that. And we want to thank our sponsors, Albert Taylor, Endless Possibilities, making all kinds of people get the lives that they want, just like Zach had. And they're always looking for people to work with them and for them. Our other sponsor, New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center. Zach, if you've never gone and had hyperbaric treatment, you need to go see Matt. It is a rush. And after one of your real good workouts, go do the light therapy that Matt talked about, because I've done it as for recovery. It's awesome. And your first treatment for anybody, the first time you go in there, is 50% off. So that's a really great deal too. And then Chris Dental Family Dentistry. And recently I'm going to leave you with, we talked to his hygienist about the biggest mistakes, the 3 biggest mistakes people make in brushing their teeth. And I like to air this at the end on some of his shows because I learned so much. It changed the way I brush my teeth because I'm the guy that just starts brushing. I got my Somitrol, I put it in there. And as I'm walking around the house, and she's talking about, no, you make this a ritual. So watch. And joining me now is Liz Maxon. She's a dental hygienist for Dr. Bratlin at Chris Dental Family Dentistry and Denture Center.
The first thing is I always say I don't think patients brush long enough. The brush doesn't have enough time to get in there and clean all of those surfaces really well because most patients kind of do a side to side and they'll start here and then they'll come over here and you end up missing a lot of tooth surfaces. Going down, I like to tell patients that it should almost be kind of relaxing. It's almost like a meditative thing. You know, we should really be slowing down, taking our time, starting on one side and very slowly working our way to the other side.
So what's the number 2? What's the second thing you see, the biggest mistake people make?
I would say probably brushing too hard. That's the second thing where patients say, oh, you know, I'm super, super aggressive. And then they have recession everywhere. And they're having all these issues. Not brushing too hard and using a soft brush. Sometimes patients will ask me, oh, I need to brush better. Do I need to get a hard bristle brush versus a soft bristle brush? And I say, absolutely not.
And what's the third biggest mistake?
Oh man, I want to say not flossing.
Well, then say it. You're the expert. Yeah.
And at least not getting something in between the teeth, getting something interproximally. Because the reality is teeth touch like this. And so you can brush around the tooth, but you can't get in between the teeth. And most people, when they get cavities in between the teeth because they don't floss. We see it with teenagers all the time. Teenagers are such a big culprit of this where they don't floss. And so they get tons of cavities everywhere, but especially in between the teeth.
And again, that's Chris Dental Family Dentistry, one of our sponsors. Okay, again, share this on your page, please. Let other people know what's going on. And we'll be back with more on another day and another time. If you want to find us, I don't know where you're watching us from, but you can find us on YouTube at Rick Dancer TV. You can find us on our website, rickdancer.com. We're also on Spotify and any of the other podcast channels that you listen to. And then we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and the rest. But we're trying to move a little bit away from Facebook as much. So, all right, I will see you on the